Welcome to another Design with Jo video. I'm Joanne Rogers, a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Central Alberta, Canada, and I've been designing with you in mind since 1999. Today I have a really quick tip for you on getting the best use out of your thin dies, especially with foil paper. So do you ever have this happen where you've used your thin die and you have put it through your Big Shot and you have a really difficult time pulling it out? You have to almost pull it out little by little. You use your paper piercing tool and that helps you, but when you are done, you have little pieces where the foil has actually come off. So I'm going to give you a couple tips on how you can avoid that. So here's your first tip. So when you're using dies that are quite detailed and longer than they are wide, then what you want to do is you don't want to run them through this way. When you run them through that way, the pressure on this roller actually exerts pressure here and none at this end at the same time. So what you do is you roll your roller across your image and you could end up bending it, which means that it's not going to cut as well. So whenever you're using long thinlits, what you want to do is you want to run the words or any thinlit the same way as you see the words on the Big Shot. So when you see Big Shot here, and I can read holidays the same way, then I know I have that set up properly. The other tip is to take a piece of waxed paper, and I don't recommend that you do this for all of your dies. I know some people like to use it for a lot of their dies. I would only use it if I'm having a difficult time with a die or if I'm going to be using foil paper. And I don't have the same problem with every single die, so I'm going to give it a try first before I use it. And the reason why I don't just use it every time is that there is wax, of course, on wax paper. Eventually, over time, that's going to build up on your die, and then it can transfer onto your paper and it'll leave like a little sort of almost like a little grease stain. So over time it makes your die not cut as well. So one tip. Second tip is to put your wax paper on top, put on your standard cutting mat, run that through. Third tip is to look at, before you just try and take those off, look and see if everything has cut through. So my happy is fine, but my holidays needs another little cut. I can tell that it's just really shy here a little bit. It's not cut all the way through. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run that through again, but I'm going to run it through at a different angle. So this time, where last time I ran it this way, this time I'm just going to run it this way. And I'll see if that makes a better cut. And I think that it will. Run that through. And know that when you're using your precision base plate, you are going to get a warped cutting mat. So here's our old ones. Let's see how well these ones come out. So they're going to come out a lot easier. They just come right off. Take our wax paper off. And I'll try and pop these out of here. It is going to come. There we go. So you don't need to peel it off of the thinlits this way. And what you have, I'm not going to bother to take out my little bits there. What you have is a much nicer looking piece than you had the first time. Let me put that on the black so you can see it. You can see that there's no cut marks, there's no white pieces showing. So it is a really quick way, and it causes you a lot less frustration. So I hope you find that tip useful and that you're going to get all kinds of application out of it, especially when you're using your detailed dies and your foil paper. So thanks very much for joining me. Make sure you check out my blog posts. I'm a big tipper over there in all of my blogs. I like to give you lots of different ideas and some tricks that I've learned along the way. So again, thanks for joining me and have a great paper crafting day.